because
Okay.
we can't
We're live.
say things.
We're live.
Understood. Get the
We're
rid.
live. So everybody stop telling secrets.
No more secrets.
I'm totally okay with this particular topic just going away that nobody's selected anyways.
Which one? 9?
The relaunch of YouTube live stream.
Don't say it out loud, because then somebody will be like, no, don't skip it, please. So I did get a part in the musical I was trying out for, so I don't know if I'm going to have practices on Thursdays or not yet.
Well, I can, I think we can probably make it work. None of us really have lives, so.
You mean you can't host and rehearse at the same time?
Well, the rehearsal will go to like 10:30 Eastern time, so if you want to do it at like midnight.
You can't sing through the show, I think is what we're getting at.
Right, I meant like you can't like take your computer to the theater and like just have it there.
Oh, well, my part, I don't know how big. I'm more of an ensemble person, so I don't. But you never know. Sometimes they're more involved than the main parts. So.
What's the musical? Tell me its hair.
The musical is Les Miserables.
Oh, Les Miserables. Gotcha.
It is Les Miserables.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Guys, my Nexus 6 is finally updating to 5.1.
Just kind of go like this, and that's it.
I just sideloaded the OTA like a week ago.
I was convinced. I wanted to wait because I was convinced that this Nexus 6 was never going to receive any updates. Like I just thought that for some reason it was never going to update, but now I know that isn't true.
I got an OTA on mine a few days ago, and then I sold it like 2 days ago. So I'm pretty happy to not have to look at it anymore.
That's so sad.
Do you guys want to hear the one line I have in the opening song?
Yes.
I'm not going to say
very
it.
much like to hear that.
I'm just going to say it. It's completely a lie because it says, "I've done no wrong. Sweet Jesus, hear my prayer." It's a lie.
Are you going to whisper that part in the show?
Yeah, I'm going to kind of pull a brick from the middle. You ever see that? I'm lying.
This is a complete fabrication. I assure you.
Yep.
I have done lots of wrong.
I have. I think most of us have.
Wade County, as far as I know, that's correct, unfortunately.
None for the Nexus 9 either, huh?
Yeah, the Nexus 9, I feel like I charged up my Nexus 9 because I was like, oh, we'll get the OTA anytime now, and it still hasn't.
Yeah.
I've gotten the OTA on my Nexus 10 and my Nexus 5. Bleeding edge my ass.
I was thinking like, oh my god, 5.1 is going to fix this thing and it's going to be awesome and magical, but nope. No OTA.
It has to get 5.1 first.
Awful.
Yeah.
So have you noticed any significant differences, Ryan?
With
performance-wise, 5.1 on the Nexus 6?
Maybe a little bit. I never really had any performance issues with that device before, but I mean the handful of little changes they made to functionality are much appreciated. Like especially the heads-up notification thing. I'm so happy that they fixed that because that made no sense on 5.0.
So wait, Matt, you just said you've got it on your Nexus 5?
Yes.
Does it suck less now?
Yes. It does suck less.
I'm looking forward to getting it on my Moto X, but
that is available if you want to sideload the OTA.
Yeah, I don't want to sideload.
I'm just looking forward to getting it at all.
I'll wait for the official OTA. I don't want the soak release bullcrap.
You'll wait for the Oscar Tango Alpha?
That's exactly what I will wait for.
Are you talking about the Moto X?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I totally installed the soak tester
The
today.
Motox.
Yeah, I feel like, I've
how-
heard that
how
that's
did
the
that
one
work
that they're
out?
going to push out to everybody,
It
so
would make sense. It seems
I guess we'll
stable.
find out.
I mean, I
Yeah.
haven't had any issues.
No interruptions, Nexus 9. No interruptions.
Yeah,
Is
I
that how
think
you
I'll
do
still
it?
wait for the official OTA, just because.
Is that how you turn off notifications?
Yes, that's exactly how you do
exactly.
it.
Okay, Google. Don't interrupt my ass.
Oh yay! Now to optimize apps.
Okay,
Whatever that
well,
means.
it'll be ready to use in about an hour.
Yeah.
Yes,
Optimizing apps. 3 of 972.
Yeah.
God help you if you update an Android Wear watch while you're out and it needs to optimize apps, because that's going to take forever and it's going to destroy half of the battery.
I pretty much
Yes.
have to do
Man.
the factory reset on my watch anytime that I disconnect it from the phone or turn off Bluetooth on my phone or something. It just doesn't connect ever again.
That's weird.
Mine.
I still have to
mine-
reset watches when I switch phones, which is annoying, Google.
That is very annoying. I spend more time. My watch spends more time on the Android Wear is not responding. Would you like to close it window than anything else?
If you press yes, I want the watch to just disappear from your wrist.
The hell of it is the screen. After a while, the screen just stops responding, and I can hit OK as many times as I want, and it won't do anything. So I have to actually use the little pin reset on the
Oh yeah,
back
so
of it
yeah,
to get
the
it to,
G-Watch doesn't have a physical button, so you have to hit that little
So,
thingy.
It's a little after 8:30. So when
Oh,
do
yeah.
we want to start the thing with the show?
Okay, well, we have several things. Does anybody care about any of those, or should we just kill them?
I do not care about a single one of them.
Okay,
Well,
let's proceed with what we
HTC
have.
story,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I don't really know anything about that.
Excuse me. Stupid Spotify. Close Spotify once you open. Oh, guys.
I kind of want us to do the HTC story just so that we can mention Rita's alternate title.
That was the best part.
It was an amazing alternate title.
I don't understand why it was the alternate title. It should have been the actual title.
It should have been, that's true.
Double action button.
All the way across the sky.
All the way. Oh my god!
That was my
Alright.
actual reaction when I opened up Inbox.
So are we leaving the share Wang in there?
I didn't even know Cher had a wang. I thought she always looked manly.
I'll take it.
Okay.
If I could
Alright.
turn back time.
He's all extra. He's like musical and doing impressions. We should just have like a Bob variety show after the podcast.
I think so too.
I'm sorry, did you just say something about a meat popsicle?
Sure.
I thought I...
No, but I will take you to the candy shop, and I will let you lick my lollipop.
Pass.
5.1.
I do like it when you talk dirty.
I don't.
Talk dirty to me.
Okay, so do we want to do this show or?
Hey,
well,
Al,
let's-
I just realized that I never mentioned to you before that I totally put your name on 2 topics.
Oh, you're an ass. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Do I have time to look at them before they come up?
Yeah, they're app updates, so.
It's time for the app and the updates.
Can we have like an inset view of my phone optimizing apps to like have a countdown during the show?
It just looks like a white block.
Will it ever reach the end?
We can't see the actual text on the screen.
You'll have to turn down brightness.
I think what you'll need to do,
Can't.
Liam,
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's
Oh yeah,
good.
that's right. It's on maximum brightness when it
The
does that.
brightness app hasn't been optimized yet.
get a video capture device and then a Chromecast, and then you can mirror to it, and then change your camera feed. Then you would have it right in there, man.
This doesn't sound complicated at all.
Every topic that I talk about, it would actually just be a white square on the screen. Viewers.
Now optimizing app 5.
No,
900.
Can you get your voice to say that?
It was going pretty fast.
Can I get my voice to say now optimizing? Sure.
Not anymore.
But I'd have to type it. I'm not hooked up to that device anymore. I'm going to hit the record button.
Make sure nothing
This is the
crashes.
first week with a new mixer. So let's see what it's a mixer audio interface. Does it sound good?
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Sounds purple.
I think it sounds pretty good myself.
Pretty good.
Pretty. I'm going to press the
Do
button.
I need to tilt this up because I just scooted forward a little bit? So.
Yeah, tilt it up, please.
Is that better? Or is
That is much better. Thank you.
Boom.
Here, let me set the audio level for this thing real quick.
Okay.
Sorry. With new mixers come new audio levels. Now, rib for her protection.
Protection?
Yeah,
I'm not sure that's how it works.
that works in my house.
Welcome to the Android Police Podcast, your weekly audio source for all things Android. It is Thursday, March 26th, 2015. I'm your host, Matthew Smith.
I'm Cameron Summerson.
I'm Liam Spratton.
I'm Ryan Whitwam.
My name is Bobby Severns. Welcome to the show, everybody.
I was really confused there why that went quiet so quickly, Bob. You messed me up. We pulled it off.
I'm sorry, yo.
We pulled it off. We pulled it off anyways. All right, let's get things kick-started with a little Code Google. Alrighty, so those of you who got yourself entered in to win the right to buy a ticket to Google I/O 2015, your news has likely hit you by now. So Ryan, do we know if anybody from the show is going? Anybody?
I think Cody got accepted. So that
he
and
did?
then and then we have the press one for Artem. So we'll have at least two people there.
I'm not going.
Poor Liam.
I'm bitter.
Well, you're not going yet. Maybe there will be an Easter egg. Last year they had the codes hidden all over the place. So
Yeah,
I mean, it was
There haven't
was
been any
possible.
Easter eggs yet, so I'm getting nervous.
yes. I mean, last year it was possible to still snag a ticket if you didn't get accepted in the drawing.
Yeah.
But who knows if that's going to happen this year? So yeah, I mean, if you applied, you have an email either accepting or rejecting you, and if they accept you, you have the option to pay $900 to go to Google I/O in May, where they will probably give you free stuff.
So, is there an aftermarket sales for these? Like, is there like a black market for Google I/O tickets?
Yes, I believe there is. I know that last year a lot of people were like selling codes and doing crazy stuff like that.
I bet that's the kind of thing that would get Google to ban you, but
Yeah.
you know.
Well, I mean, technically, there's not really a way for them to know as long as nobody's used the code. So, and this year they're doing Eventbrite links with codes, and they have confirmed that they are transferable as long as you haven't already registered. So, just a tip.
Nice. Nice. So one of the things we've been hearing a little bit maybe showing up at Google I/O is a new smartwatch from a relatively high-name, big-name watch maker. I think for a lot of folks out there who've been looking for like a high-style or like premium line Android Wear device, this might be the one for them, right, Ryan?
Yeah. So Tag Heuer is a watchmaker that's pretty well known. In fact, a lot of the custom watch faces for Android Wear are really, really obvious knockoffs of Tag Heuer designs. So that company is partnering with Intel and Google to make an Android Wear smartwatch. Presumably, it will have officially licensed watch faces that look like their physical watch faces. We don't know much about what the device will be, except that it's going to be powered by an Intel chip and it'll run Android Wear. I imagine, since we're talking about a watchmaker that does sell watches that range into $10,000, that this will probably be a more expensive smartwatch than the $200 or $300 devices we've seen so far.
So possibly Apple Watch territory.
Maybe. I feel like they would have to be kind of crazy to even bother making, a $10,000 or $15,000 version of this watch. I mean, the Apple Watch, they have, at least the reality distortion field to push a $17,000 watch. Somebody is going to buy that. I don't know if anybody's necessarily going to buy, a $17,000 Android Wear watch.
Well, the flip side, though, is people have bought $17,000 Tag Heuer watches before. I mean, that's definitely something that's happened.
Yeah, I mean, buying a smartwatch that costs that much, though, like, it's still the exact same device that other people would get. Like, it's not going to magically have more powerful internals because the software just doesn't work like that. It's not like you spend $10,000 on a watch. It has nicer materials and better workmanship. I don't know that that's necessarily the case with a $500 smartwatch versus a $15,000 smartwatch.
Maybe it'll be like a hot swappable parts watch so you can keep it forever. It'll be like the Project Aura watches.
Yeah, it'll be the Aura watch.
And all of the parts will be diamond studded.
I'd buy it. Didn't Fossil say that they were going to make an Android Wear watch way back in the day?
Said that.
They did. They
and then
announced
they
that at
just
the
didn't-
beginning.
They just didn't never do
We
it.
were like, yep, we're going to do it. Except we're not going to do it.
It's just
And Fossil watches, Fossil makes a lot of watches that sell for like the $50 to $100 price range, so it's reasonable to expect that one will probably have a nice looking build, but also be relatively affordable.
right.
So, anyways, all right. So, moving on to Android Auto, which of course we know. Last week we talked about head units that were available for purchase that had Android Auto, but there was this huge asterisk, which is that you couldn't use it. So that's now changed, right?
Well, maybe. It really depends on what phone you have. So there's now an Android Auto app in the Play Store. You have to install it on a phone if you're going to use Android Auto, but it requires that you're on 5.0 or higher, which of course very few people are. And even then, there might be some compatibility issues with one phone or another. Like I was talking to Pioneer about their head units that they're finally shipping that are super expensive, and they couldn't even confirm like which phones would work. They're like, if you're on Lollipop, it'll probably work, but we can't say for sure just because it's still a little bit up in the air. So I mean, I feel like this isn't going to be a big deal for most people right now because nobody has these yet. I mean, unless you ran right out and spent $700 to $1,400 on a custom head unit.
Yeah, I think the initial market penetration on this is going to be almost non-existent.
Yeah, it's not going to be a thing really until either a few years down the road when cars just come with this stuff by default, or until somebody makes a replaceable head unit that isn't stupid expensive. Because I mean, for people that have older cars, you need something to put Android Auto into your vehicle, but I don't think many people are going to want to spend this kind of money, $700 just for, a new head unit to get Android Auto.
Is it always going to be like that, though?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, somebody has to make one that's more reasonably priced if we're going to get this anytime soon. I mean, otherwise it's just going to be when cars come with it by default.
I want the Nexus A.
Yeah, that would be great if Google could just do that. They've kickstarted markets like that before. If they spent time and money designing the Nexus Q, they can give us a Nexus A.
I feel like, do the internals really differ that much from, say, like the Nexus 7 or something?
No, I don't think so. I mean, there are obviously like audio components that are more expensive than what you would have in a tablet. But I mean, this is just such a niche market now that if you make a head unit with a 7-inch capacitive, or I guess in this case like resistive touchscreen, like you can charge pretty much whatever you want. But yeah, I mean, like if you look at the screen tech, it's like way behind what you get on any 7-inch tablet right now.
Right.
I mean, it's just there aren't really a lot of companies still making these.
Yeah, I was just wondering, like, it can't, there can't be that many special considerations for making a head unit versus making a tablet that somebody mods into their car.
Yeah, I don't know.
I seem to recall, I think it was David was having a conversation with somebody at CES about it, and they were giving a whole bunch of excuses about certain build requirements that were required for it to be mounted inside the dashboard, and I just thought it sounded like a bunch of lame excuses, personally. All right, so Android Auto was announced at I/O last year. Also announced at I/O last year was Android for Work, which we have not yet seen a whole lot out in the wild, but our friend Ron over at Ars Technica put a pretty thorough magnifying glass to it this week, right, Liam?
Yes, he did. Ron, who is sorely missed at APD, wrote a really awesome piece for ours about Android for Work, everything from setup to leaving the company. So you should totally read it if you're at all interested in that. As usual, Google's apps administration console is kind of a huge mess. So getting it set up is kind of a pain, but it's pretty cool once you get it working. And I think it's a smart way of doing things. But yeah, if you want all the details, you should go to that article.
Yep, check it out. All right, so next, Google apparently, this is in the little section of Google rumors we have this week, apparently working on a new way to pay and manage your bills that should streamline that experience a little bit for you, right, Liam?
Yeah, Recode is reporting that Google is working with some third-party vendors to allow you to pay your bills through Gmail. And the images from the documents that Recode posted look like they're in both Gmail and Inbox, so presumably this would just be kind of an agnostic Gmail feature that would go to both platforms. But it looks pretty cool. I mean, once you get everything set up, then you can just pay your bills by Pony Express. That probably will not end up being the final name, if I had to guess. But,
that'd be my guess, too, yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, obviously all we can do for now is speculate about whether this will ever materialize, but hopefully it does.
Right on. So, yeah, it seems kind of interesting because it seems like everybody is figuring out new and inventive ways to email money, which I don't really know how I feel about it. I don't know.
I mean, Gmail already has the attached money icon. Like, you can send it just like a picture or anything else.
I wonder what would happen like right now if somebody sent you, if you got like an invoice or a bill in your email and you just replied and attached money to it. Wondering how that would work out for you.
That's a good question.
In theory, it's already possible. It's just I'm pretty sure the companies probably just would have no idea what to do with it.
Yeah.
And then you would just be marked late on your bills because they couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, or if the bill comes from like a no reply address, then it would just your money would just like go out into the wild web.
That's right. I think it takes like a week or something to get your money back if nobody claims it. So I don't know. Could be risky. Probably not going to try it. All right. So moving on to another little bit of an interesting rumor from Google. It involves them kind of rolling a project out that doesn't really fit in with just about anything they've ever done. In this particular case, it sounds like a TV show from Google, which to some extent makes sense. I mean, obviously they have this whole YouTube property. They do a lot with video, but television shows? What's going on with that, Liam?
I mean, it seems like Google has kind of avoided actual like content creation as far as a TV show goes, but everybody's making TV shows these days, right? So Google is apparently considering, according to the information, who got their information from two people familiar with talks on the matter. Apparently they want to make a TV show that ties in with Ingress, the game. So they said that it would be less like a TV show about the game, more like something that ties in with the game. So it's like an extension of Ingress's kind of like weird game/real life nature. So there goes an airplane.
I thought it was an incoming missile or something. Jeez.
So they are apparently talking to a producer from The Mummy to help them find people to run the show, and they say that they are considering not YouTube for showing the show. Interestingly enough, but traditional TV networks and Netflix and Hulu and like streaming things like that. So I mean, I'm sure that if this comes to fruition, like you would probably see it in the Play Store, like you could watch it through Google services. But it's interesting that they're considering like actual TV channels to show this. But yeah, otherwise there's not much to go on besides the fact that they're apparently working on it. So
Man, this sounds dumb.
Is Ingress really that popular? I know that like the article said that it had become a very popular game, but I don't know that I ever met anybody in real life that plays it.
I think it's like a cult popular game. Like if you go on Google Plus and search for Ingress, you'll find like 1 million posts a day about Ingress and like people making Ingress Easter eggs and like people making giant dragons by capturing portals, and like people are really the people who do play it are really super into it. But it's not really like a mainstream thing as far as I could tell. But I don't know. I guess the audience might be there.
I want to know. I can't remember the details, but I just remember Eric just having like this fantastic story about a guy he met who played Ingress.
I vaguely remember that in a trench coat.
In a trench coat with like a samurai sword or something.
Katana.
Katana.
I imagine those are all the people who play Ingress are like that. Like that's how they.
Fedoras. Do they have fedoras? I think they do.
And Cheeto neckbeards.
Or maybe they wear trips.
Perhaps.
And Icky Cody had to bring up Google Reader.
Oh my God.
All right, so one last little bit of information floating around in the less than confirmed category. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I take that back. This appears to be not less than confirmed. Google is apparently adopting a new standard for scrolling in Chrome that's supposed to make it not stink nearly as much as it currently does.
Yeah, so the Chromium team has confirmed that they are going to start implementing something called pointer events in place of touch events. That's the input API that lets you navigate around a web page. Apparently, touch events is kind of laggy and weird. Pointer events is supposed to be much faster, so they're going to start building that into Chrome on all platforms. It will take a while though, so it's not gonna happen in the next few weeks or months maybe. But at some point in the future, it's going to start hitting the various versions of Chrome, and hopefully it'll be a lot faster.
Yes, scrolling is pretty janky. I'm not gonna lie.
Janky scrolling.
All right, so let's move on to Google updates. Starting off with Keep updated to 3.1 this week. Ryan, what's new?
So the big headlining things are recurring reminders and labels. So you can add labels to all of your notes that allow you to search for them and filter them based on labels. So that's something people have been asking for forever. And the recurring reminders, it's not reminders that are new, just the recurring part. So you can set a reminder to have it pop up every day or week or month, or you can set a custom range. And then also, I think that the floating action button in the app is new. I think people were saying that, but so if that's true, then a small UI tweak as well. But it's the biggest update that Keep has had in a couple of months. So
you know what I want in Keep? I want a way to pin things or to star them and sticky them to the top. That's what I want.
That would be a good thing.
That's just because there are like one or two things that I reference back to in Keep really often, and the more notes I make in Keep, it buries them. I guess tags will help them a little bit.
You can move things around. I mean, you can like long press and drag them around, but yeah, I mean, if you have to do that all the time, every time you make a note.
Exactly. I want something that says I can just star it or pin it or whatever, and it just stays right there at the very top.
Like in Gmail, where you can just say, "Show me my starred messages."
Fool.
Thank you. Like in Gmail, that's what I liken it to all the time. That's exactly what I want.
So couldn't you just make like a star label? Like
I could. That's what I was gonna say. I mean, star. The labels will help with that a little bit, but it's like this is stuff that I would like to grab my phone, hit open Keep, and boom, there it is. And not have to go search for a label.
Yeah, I mean okay, so I guess it's not. I guess it's actually not bad. I was gonna say it's kind of hard to get to the labels, but I guess if you open the nav menu and you've got your labels down at the bottom of that, so I guess you could probably do that. It's like, probably another step than you would like, but
Well, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. I don't mind that so much. I don't even know if I've updated Keep yet.
probably not. Well, we have this website called APK Mirror that you can use to do that.
Tell me more about it. What can I get from APK Mirror?
I'm pretty sure that you can get hard drugs from APK Mirror. That's what I was told on the street.
It's basically like the Silk Road all over again.
Yeah, it's definitely the sort of thing the FBI needs to investigate.
You have to do the Konami code to get into that part of the site, though.
Oh, gotcha.
Thanks for the heads
We'll
up.
tell everybody, Liam G's.
Man,
All right, so
next.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, next on the
update for Keep.
next on the updates list, Google Play Music up to 581.836R. That's an easily rememberable version number. So Cam, what's new there?
Just some stuff. Oh, YouTube music videos. Videos in search results. So now if you search for something, a band, or artist or whatever in Play Music, you will not only get the albums and songs and whatnot, but you will also see music videos now in the search results. So that's the big thing. A couple of other smaller things. You can now see albums in your library without having to tap more, which is, I guess, okay. And also the app runs smoother because they have improved the way it handles album art.
Yes. I was hoping they would improve the way it
Yeah.
handles album art because
Man, I've been waiting for that for so long.
I don't know how it handles album art, so I guess I don't.
I've been waiting.
All right, so the next two are new features that didn't necessarily correspond with an app update. And the first one is Device Manager getting Android Wear support. So Liam, how'd that come to be?
It just did.
It just happened, huh? It just showed up.
A Find My Phone button appeared on Android Wear. So if you have Device Manager installed in an Android Wear watch, then you can find that device from your wrist.
A wild Find Your Phone icon appeared.
Yes.
Fantastic. Also, new feature showed up in Smart Lock this week as well, right, Ryan?
Yes, so an update to Google Play Services or something on the back end that plugs into Google Play Services, I suppose, added on-body detection to Smart Lock. So we, of course, dubbed this Trusted Butts because everything else is Trusted Something. So this feature just can tell whether or not you're holding your phone or it's riding around in your pocket and can keep it unlocked. Whenever you set the phone down on something, it will then go back to requesting the secure lock screen, the pin or the pattern or whatever you're using. So yeah, this I think is the fourth way to use Smart Lock. And I mean the Smart Lock thing overall is just one of the coolest parts of Lollipop. I think it's super handy because I've always used a secure lock screen, but like if I'm just at home, there's really no reason for me to have to put that in every time I pick up the device. So yeah, on-body detection is a thing now. It's neat. I mean, it's probably less secure than most of these options because, you could like be holding the phone and then like hand it to somebody, and then they would just be able to keep using it without putting in the unlock code. But as long as you know what you're getting into.
I have enabled so many Smart Lock features that I'm pretty sure it's pointless for me to have locked my phone at this point in time.
Yeah, I mean, I guess mine only locks now if I'm away from home. I set the phone down and I don't have my smartwatch with me.
Right.
And
I'm
how
probably
often
gonna
could that happen?
Huh?
And how often could that happen?
Probably not super often, but I'm probably going to turn off the on-body detection. I was just messing around with it, but
I think I have the same thing, except I have a hands-free kit that's trusted Bluetooth in my car. So yeah, it's like one extra level. It's never going to do me any good. So hopefully nobody that I want to access my phone ever actually.
Well, I mean, if somebody were to take your phone from your car, then I guess as soon as it left the car area and lost connection, it would lock again.
That's true. That's true. As long as they didn't get in there and turn that setting off while they were still within range.
Well, I think you have to still put in the unlock code.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah,
lock.
to get to the menu options, you have
to
put it.
Google thinks about this stuff.
They think about it. They're on top of it. All right, good deal. Let's move on to the rumor roundup.
It's time for the rumor roundup.
All right, so the HTC One M9 Plus leaked this week, and there were pictures of it, and 4 out of 5 AP readers agreed that it's pretty hideous. Ryan, what? First of all, what is the M Plus, and why does it look so terrible?
So the M9 Plus is a slightly larger version of the M9, I guess. We saw some pictures of some version of this before the M9 came out, but then they didn't announce this phone when they announced the regular M9.
Can we stress the word slightly on that?
I don't know. Maybe
isn't it like 0.2 of an inch bigger?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's 5.2 inches instead of 5. But okay, so here's the thing. It has a giant fingerprint sensor in the middle of the bottom bezel that like bisects the speaker grill for the boom sound thing. So it looks so bad. I mean, it's just a really unpleasant phone to look at. We should have like tagged the post and like NSFW so people don't shock themselves unduly.
NSFL.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, I mean, it looks like a slightly larger M9 with that really stupid fingerprint sensor in the middle of the bottom, which isn't even a convenient spot for a fingerprint sensor. That's not a super comfortable way to unlock a phone. And then on the back, it has a duo camera because HTC was like, hey, it doesn't look weird enough with this giant fingerprint sensor. Let's put the duo camera on there because everybody just loved that. So it sounds like it's based on the 20 megapixel sensor that they're using in the regular M9, but then it has the little depth sensor thing above it. It'll have a higher res screen. It'll be 1440p, 3 gigs of RAM, 32 gigs of storage, and a MediaTek processor. This is most likely destined for Asia and possibly Europe. They're announcing something in Beijing on April 8th that is almost for sure this phone, judging by the teaser image. And yeah, it is an unpleasant-looking device that you probably will never have to confront in person, luckily.
Good. I mean, good. It's just that would be tragic if you did.
Bad for HTC because they spent money and time designing this, and that's just sad. Because I mean, really.
I guess the one thing is what was the HTC One Max or whatever that was their phablet that they released a couple years ago?
On Verizon, and that had a fingerprint sensor on the back, I think.
Yeah, but the thing was like massive. It was the size of most, it was like a Nexus 7 size phone. It was huge.
Was it? I feel like it might have been huge at the time, but maybe not so much in hindsight.
The screen size was big, but the design of it did not.
It was 5.9 inches, so smaller than the Nexus 6.
but the design of it was not necessarily optimized to make a screen that size feel like it's not that big. It was really bad.
Blocky. I mean, because it was based on the M7, and the M7 was a very sort of like angular, kind of pointy edge phone.
Right.
So I could see this being pretty uncomfortable to hold.
Well, it had the logo bar, and then the physical keys, and then the boom sound speakers. So like it just every layer just made it like a quarter of an inch, half inch taller.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it looks like it's 164 millimeters tall. I don't know how tall the Nexus 6 is off the top of my head. Somebody can look that up. And then
I seem to recall that it was roughly the same size as the iPhone 6 Plus. I think it was like in that same general.
So, yeah, I mean I don't know why HTC like they had the fingerprint sensor on the back of that phone. Why they would then decide to make a phone with the fingerprint sensor on the front, which is a less comfortable spot. I guess it just makes it look like a Samsung phone. I guess I don't know.
Especially like its position and its shape make it look like Samsung.
Yeah, it's an oval, which is it looks a lot like the Galaxy S6. It's sort of the same scale too as the Galaxy S6.
No. So speaking of devices with disappointing shapes.
Wow, that was a segue there.
We have a potential leak for a follow-up to the Moto 360, and I think that everybody's least favorite feature of the device pretty much appears it's still going to be there. So, Liam, what do we think about this? Give us our opinion.
So Hello Moto HK says that a photo that they posted was taken by Lenovo CEO Yan Yuanqing, and it shows a briefcase full of pieces and parts of watches. It would probably be the Moto 360. The obvious differences are that this watch, whatever it is, has exposed lugs, which the Moto 360 does not. It has a hidden where the strap goes in. I don't know what you call that, but it's there. Anyway, so this has exposed lugs like most of the other smartwatches that we've seen that are round. But unfortunately, it still has a flat tire shape. So that kind of sucks.
I think that it would just be really hilarious if Lenovo's CEO was really walking around with a briefcase just full of watch parts that he just like opens at meetings and starts playing with.
And takes a photo and posts it online, apparently.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's Mr. Moto and his bucket of parts.
Yeah, so I'm inclined to believe that this is real just because, like, where did somebody get a briefcase full of fake watches? But
I mean, it is China, so...
Any street corner in New York.
I'm
I
hoping
mean, if you're going to find a briefcase full of fake Moto 360s...
I guess I've seen a briefcase full of fake watches in real life, so like I should have known.
This is the future of fake watches, Liam. This is a future where all the fake watches are smartwatches.
The thing that confuses me is that like half the briefcase is padded and has like slots where the straps and the bezels go in, but then the other half is just a bunch of like fully assembled watches just chilling like in a pile. So that's confusing, but it looks like it has two sizes. Which, you know,
yeah, that would probably
nice.
be smart because the Moto 360 is probably too big for most people. I mean, the thing about the flat tire is that it's not like super distracting. Once you get used to it, it's not a huge deal. But I mean, I don't think anyone would really deny that having a completely round screen would just make more sense.
Right.
It just looks better.
I feel like Android Wear on a round screen is straining it experience-wise, like it's already a strain, like it's only for aesthetic purposes. So having, not having the flat tire is just extra pretty points. But
yeah,
that's where the ambient light sensor is on the 360, right?
Well, yeah, but I mean that's also where the display drivers connect. Yeah. So I mean, that's just where everything joins up to the body of the watch, but. Right. I mean, maybe that's just a necessity for LCDs right now because, I mean, the G Watch R has a completely round screen, but it's AMOLED. Maybe there's just a functional difference in the way you engineer these devices that you just can't do that with an LCD right now.
Yeah. I just want to say for the record that every now and then I will make a face in Watchmaker and I'll post it to Face Repo, and I always put some text in that exact spot. So that I know that if somebody puts that on their Moto 360, they're going to see like half of the text and just be really annoyed. My download counts are really low, I should mention.
I would like to make a watch face that actually extends the flat tire.
The half of the screen is just black.
This would be like my app idea for huge bezel, which just makes your phone's bezels really big. But for a watch. That's what I want.
That's a good idea.
I think it's a fantastic idea. I just need to learn how to develop it.
All right, so last little bit of rumor roundup. Apparently, Oppo has entered the war on bezels, unlike Liam here. And we had a little bit of a leak come out this week with a phone that has no bezels, or at least appears to have no bezels. So, Ryan, why make a phone with no bezels? Why?
Just because you want to watch the world burn, I guess. Because the pictures of this phone, it looks completely unusable. I don't even know how it could possibly work. So this picture of an Oppo phone, it has a 5.5-inch screen, and there is no bezel on the left and right side. It just goes right up to the edge of the phone. I mean, the only way this would even be borderline usable is if it had some sort of algorithms to detect when you were touching the edge with your hand, because even on a regular phone, sometimes my hand brushes up against the edge of the screen and it registers a touch. So this, I don't see how you can hold it without constantly registering touches. all over the edges of the screen. I mean, supposedly it does something like that, but I mean, who knows? I think it just looks ridiculous and unnecessary, but I guess maybe some people are into it. Maybe.
No, it looks awful.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Completely objectively awful.
Yeah. So I guess we've decided Oppo should just not do this.
They should not do this.
If indeed this is real.
All right, let's move on to the hot sheet.
Hot sheet.
All right, so not really a whole lot of devices to announce this week. We had the rumors, but now we have OEM news, because that's not a part of the show, so we have to just throw it in a hot sheet. And we'll start off with HTC, because, well, there's been a change at the head of HTC, and I guess let's talk about it.
Yes, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
HTC, now former CEO Peter Cho, is transitioning to the Future Development Lab. He'll be the head of the Future Development Lab, and Chairwoman Cher Wang is now taking over as CEO. So that's a change. Apparently they just thought it was the right time, and Wang was the right candidate, so she went for it. So HTC has a new CEO with a new vision, and hopefully it's a good one.
All right. And the next little bit of OEM news actually centers around deals made with Microsoft to bring you more bloatware on your devices, right, Ryan?
Yeah. So supposedly more devices going forward are going to have the Office suite of apps like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote, and Skype. I mean, I guess as far as bloatware goes, it's not that terrible because some of those apps are actually quite good. I mean, the Word app for Android is actually a pretty solid app, so it's the sort of thing I might install anyway. I guess we'll see which devices. We already know that the Galaxy S6 is going to have the Microsoft stuff bundled with it. So this will just start rolling out over the next couple months in new phones and tablets.
I might be slightly desensitized, but I almost feel like Microsoft Office doesn't feel like bloatware to me because pretty much every computer I've ever bought had it on there, and it's just I think I've just gotten desensitized to it.
Well, it probably had like a trial of it because you have to buy it on the desktop. These are at least you can get basic functionality out of all this stuff indefinitely on Android.
I just hope that
was there any Word?
Yes, there is Word. Did you hear the list? There's Word in it.
Thank you very much. Was there? That was good. Was there any word on whether or not you'll be able to remove it?
Well, I'm sure that's probably a device-specific thing they didn't say. I mean, if it's built into the ROM, then no, you would only be able to disable it. But I guess we'll find out. I mean, we'll find out as soon as we get our hands on a Galaxy S6, and we'll find out if those apps are removable or just can be disabled.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure on the S6 you can just disable them, but not uninstall them.
Yeah, I mean that wouldn't really surprise me.
I mean, I get why that's the case, because if they make an agreement to build stuff in, they don't want to let you take it out. But even though that's what users want.
All right, so we do have some device launch information to share. It seems like Samsung's Galaxy S and the HTC One models always end up competing to get to market first, and in this particular case, it looks like they're pretty much neck and neck because pre-orders are going live for both the HTC One M9 and for the Galaxy S6 on March 27th, and it looks like you'll be able to get both of those devices in various retail stores and carriers on April 10th. So I don't know. It almost sounds like one of them was waiting for the other, and then they're like, yeah, that's what we're doing too. But
I feel like Samsung probably did that. They were probably like, let's just find out when HTC is going to do it. We'll do it the same day because suck it, HTC. I think they're feeling pretty cocky this year.
But as far as prices go, $649 is looking like it's going to be priced for the M9. We don't really have any details about any of the carrier monthly payment plans, but the S6 is going to be $2833 for a 24-month plan on T-Mobile, so that brings it to about $680, and then the Edge $3249 on a 24-month plan, which brings it to about $780. So a little bit on the pricier side on the Samsung devices. So. All right, app update, or I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's other stuff.
Not app updates.
Not app updates. You want me to say my stuff now?
You say your stuff now. Do it.
Motorola is already in testing for the Android 5.1 update for the 2014 Moto X. Most of the changes and updates you should be aware of, as they pretty much are in line with the other 5.1 bug fixes and updates that we've got. But some things of note, the camera reduces some noise in low light situations. And in addition to that, Google had originally said that the Nexus 6 and Nexus 9 were the only devices that would get the device protection feature enabled. However, it's now going to be extended to the 2014 Moto X as well. And a wonderful feature that everybody wants is in the 5.1 update, we have chop twice for flashlight, which is absolutely perfect to me because that's the same exact motion I do whenever I have a real flashlight and I'm trying to get the damn batteries to work. So this is great.
I wonder if that's why they did it. That would actually.
I don't know. Just smack it in your hand a couple times. And be like, yeah, sweet. This is so intuitive.
Yeah, that's actually that's a really cool gesture, and it's super easy. People were like concerned in the comments, like, oh, but that's just going to turn on all the time, isn't it? No, not really. You have to give it a pretty good shake. But it's not like you're going to hurl your phone instantly when you do it. It's at a very good sensitivity level.
And if you do, you got to admit that's fun too.
And the good news is if you have like one hand that's full and you don't have two hands that you can use, you could always whack it on your forehead 2 times to turn it on. Okay, that actually doesn't sound like a good idea at all.
It doesn't have to hit anything. You can just sort of like, as long as you just give it a little snap at the end of the
just flick the wrist.
Yeah, and it works when the screen is off and everything too. So super cool.
It is cool.
All right, so Samsung has Lollipop updates rolling out all over the place. Starting off with the Galaxy Tab S 10.5 getting Lollipop in the US, Canada, and France. And if you happen to have a Galaxy Note and it happens to be on AT&T, and it's either the 3rd or 4th in the line of the Note product, you're probably getting that update too. So if you have any of those devices, you need to be checking for updates. All right, let's move on to product reviews.
It's time for product reviews. This week, hands-on with the Blue Studio X Plus and Studio G, available now exclusively from Best Buy, with Cameron Summerson. Welcome back, Cam.
Yay! Woo. That's like the first thing I've written in like 2.5 weeks. It's pretty ridiculous, or 2 weeks, or something.
Did you feel like you were rusty? Were your writing muscles?
Oh my God, I actually really did. Oh no, I guess I wrote that. The first thing that I had written, and after like 2 weeks of not writing anything, was the thing about the oh my God, the guitar thing. God, what is it?
iRig.
Anyway, that thing. This. Oh, the iRig. Yes, right here. This guy. The iRig 2.
There we go.
So, and yeah, I really did feel like I was rusty. I was like, what? Are these even words? Do these words exist? Can I use this word here? No, it was pretty awkward. But anyway, yeah, so the studio things, I'm just going to keep it short and sweet. Super low end, low cost. I think the X Plus is 5.5 inches. It's $150, and the Studio G is $99. It only has 512 megs of RAM, which is kind of ridiculous. I like a QHD display, not quad, a quarter HD display, and yeah, I mean, super low end. Both of them are pretty low end, but surprisingly not terrible. I was actually more impressed with the $99 Studio G than I was the Studio X. It performs better, I guess, because it has fewer pixels to push and whatnot, because they both have the same processor. But I mean, for $99, it's fine. I don't expect anyone who listens to this podcast or reads our site to actually want to buy it for themselves. That would be kind of silly. But, you know, if you've got a 9-year-old and you're like, you know what, you need a smartphone for whatever reason, I think it would probably be okay for that. Or if, you know, the X Plus would probably be good for somebody who wants a bigger phone, because like I said, it's 5.5 inches and isn't a power user. You know, mom and dad, grandma, whatever. it'll get the job done. They're both much better than I expected.
Cool.
All right. Let's move on to app updates. All right, so app updates brings us to Amazon this week, not necessarily with an update, but potentially an app service that could be rolling out soon that might provide some interesting options for Prime users, or I don't know, maybe it's another subscription service altogether. So Ryan, what is Amazon Unlocked?
Well, according to this report from TechCrunch, Amazon Unlocked is going to be a service of some sort that gives you access to a large number of apps and games for either free or no additional charge. We don't know how it's going to be hooked up to your existing account, or it might be a separate subscription. But it will just allow you to go to the Amazon App Store, and you'll see things that say that they're part of Unlocked, and you can just download them and play them for free. So that'll include premium content like Monument Valley. It includes a couple of Office suites, according to these documents. And then interestingly, it also will include a lot of free-to-play games that rely on in-app purchases. So that's kind of weird, because the entire basis of the gameplay in these cases is you need to sort of grind to get resources or pay money to get these resources to speed the gameplay along, and you'll just be able to say, I would like this package of in-app currency that I'd usually pay $1 or $2 for. I would just like that for free right now, and it says, okay, this is part of Unlocked. Here you go. So I mean, it seems like it would just totally break the entire in-app purchase scheme. I have to assume that this would not be used in an online game like Clash of Clans, because that would give Amazon Unlocked players a really ridiculous advantage over everybody else. So the game that is used as an example in a lot of the images from this presentation is Sonic Dash, which is a more traditional sort of just local platformer thing that you get in-app purchase content for if you want. And supposedly the titles in this program will sort of rotate on and off. So you might be playing Monument Valley, and one day you go to open it, it says, oh, this is no longer part of Unlocked. If you want to keep playing, you'll have to buy it. And then like for the free-to-play games, you would still be able to play them, but the in-app purchases would no longer be free.
Interesting.
So yeah, probably some sort of way for them to push the App Store more. I mean, the App Store sort of had a lot of promise when it came out a few years back, but it never really took off. I feel like a lot of the stuff in it is, old. It isn't updated frequently, and there's just a lot of junk. So maybe they're trying to turn that around and make it a more desirable alternative to the Play Store, which it has not been thus far.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird with the in-app purchases thrown in there. This kind of just feels like an Android version of the Game Genie.
Yeah, that's what it would be for free-to-play games. Like, I input cheat code, get 5,000 gold.
Right. Without having to make it protrude, extra distances out of the top of your console.
Or your phone.
Or your phone, for that matter. All right, let's move on to other news.
It's time for other news. You remember that news from the first part of the show? This is other news.
All right, so other is about the only qualification you can give to this particular story of Cyanogen Incorporated. They had another round of funding that went through for money dollars, and
yay!
It proceeded to push them into ridiculous new levels of verbal diarrhea. I don't even know what to say about it. So Ryan, what was the steaming pile off the lips of Cyanogen Inc. this week?
So the CEO, Kurt McMaster, he's got what we in the industry like to call a real big mouth. So he was doing an interview with Forbes, and he said that Cyanogen Inc. is, quote, putting a bullet through Google's head, end quote. Which is just one of the most bizarre things you can say about the company that makes the open source code that is the entire basis of your business. It's not like they, design Android from the ground up. They're using Google's code, and they want to basically, add some stuff to it and, monetize it. It's not like they're, doing away with Google. I mean, this is just, kind of crazy rhetoric, I guess, to get people to pay attention to him. So that was kind of crazy, and his whole attitude is, I don't know, I mean, it seems unprofessional to me. Maybe, he's got a plan for how he's going to, show everybody that he's right, but it just comes off as awkward and weird right now, and I wish that he would just cool it a little. But, I mean, the company just raised $80 million with him, talking to people, investors, so I guess
maybe he's trying to be the next John Laguerre.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
John Laguerre manages to be sort of aggressive and funny when he's talking about T-Mobile, and this guy he just seems like angry and
I think the
confused.
key though is for John Laguerre. He says these things, and you think about them, and you're like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. I kind of understand.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is,
saying.
McMaster, I don't think he has a really deep understanding of Android, because some of the examples he gave for ways they want to change Android just don't make sense. Like he was like, your phone should just know if you use Spotify for music, and when we tell it to play a song, it should do that, and it doesn't. But the thing is, Android actually does do that. When you do a voice command to play music, there's a little drop down, and you can select which app you want to be your default music player, or you can just say the name of the app you wanted to use.
Is Spotify one of the choices?
If you have it installed. I mean, I installed Pandora just to check, and it shows up in the list. I have to assume either Spotify does, or it's Spotify's fault if they don't, because obviously the APIs exist.
Right.
But, I mean, this guy is the CEO of a company that develops Android software. He should probably know that. If not, sort of in his day-to-day life, if he's going to give a statement to a reporter, he should know that Android already does that. So this all sort of gets to the point of, we've known that Cyanogen wants to sort of break away from Google, and so they announced sort of, not the specific details, but they said later this year they'll make a phone with Blue, that same company we were just talking about before, that will not have any Google apps installed at all, which sounds like not a very good idea to me.
Yeah.
Do they actually sell it that way? They're like, yes, this is an Android phone running the Cyanogen mod build, and it doesn't have Google Apps. That's supposed to get people to be like, heck yeah, man, give me that phone.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, supposedly, I guess.
I've wanted Blue to kind of team up with Cyanogen for a while, but when I was like, oh, sweet, they're going to do a phone together, and then when I heard it wasn't going to have Google Apps, I was like, oh, God. What?
Yeah, this is not a phone that is being built for people who like phones that would buy it. I mean, this is being built to be an ideological club for McMaster to beat everybody over the head with.
Right.
Look at this phone without Google Apps. We did it.
I feel like with the Laguerre comparison, this would be kind of like if Laguerre said that he was putting a bullet through the manufacturer's heads. The thing that you sell is coming from another source who you say you're going to
Yeah.
Or if he's like, look, we're gonna stop selling you phones with LTE. We've got this other cellular standard that we think is so much cooler.
We're putting a bullet through LTE's head.
Yeah, this Cyanogen guy, he's a huge joke and a huge fat mouth, and he's gonna get put in his place pretty quickly, talking shit like that.
I mean, the thing that's particularly weird about this to me is it's not like he's trying to free everybody from Google's closed source clutches for everyone's benefit. Cyanogen OS is not open source, right? Cyanogen Mod is the open source thing that you can download. Cyanogen OS has closed source parts, and they want to add more closed source things on top of it. They want to integrate different services. This is entirely a money-making idea for them. I mean, they're a company. That's what they do. You have to expect that. But to disguise it as this noble venture for the good of all users to get us out from get us away from Google's clutches is just stupid.
Yeah. Well, they want to get everybody out from Google's clutches into their own clutches, but their marketing is an open, like transparent thing. Like,
Yeah, it's like, I mean, they're just sort of relying on people knowing the word, like cyanogen, like that's an open thing.
right.
But what they're just not telling you is that that's not necessarily what they're doing. They're partnering with, with Microsoft and with, maybe Amazon and other companies to put different services in this supposed phone. I mean, the Fire phone didn't have Google services either, and it had Amazon stuff tightly integrated, and it did not do particularly well. So I don't know what I don't know what they think they're going to do that's going to be different.
It's hard to imagine that they're going to have like an app environment that's going to be better than the Amazon App Store.
I mean, I think they definitely want to have an app store. I mean, they did that deal with Qualcomm a few weeks ago to build the CyanogenMod stuff into the Qualcomm developer platform, which I mean could conceivably at some point give developers more API access to Snapdragon chips, which would be neat. I mean, they're clearly sort of positioning themselves to do this, but I mean, just because it's Android doesn't mean that developers are going to care to move their apps over to your platform. I think Amazon's App Store really, illustrates that point particularly well. I mean, Amazon, which is a huge company, hasn't been able to convince most developers to care.
Yep. All right. Well, we got some contests going on. 2 of them, to be exact. One of them will probably be over by the time you've downloaded and listened to this in your car. But if you happen to be listening live, there's still 5 hours to get yourself entered to win an unreleased Huawei phone as part of a user testing program. So that is a pretty cool thing going on right now. And then we also have an international giveaway that is going on for 3 Feedly Pro lifetime accounts from Feedly and Android Police.
Cool.
Bob, you want to cue the outro, sir?
Sure, sir. We hope you enjoy the show. As always, send your feedback to podcast@androidpolice.com. You can also call us at 530-HELLO-AP. That's 530-435-5627. Find us on Twitter at Android Police, Google Plus, and Facebook. I like talking like that. It's fun.
So we got through the whole show without any max headroom animations, I think. So that's unfortunate.
Yeah, we switched it from the cam twist.
We switched out of max headroom mode.
Right. We did, Matthew Smith the Kills.
So I think maybe we have to title this show "Putting a Bullet Through LTE's Head."
I actually was thinking that as Liam said it, so it was good stuff. You go, Liam.
Yeah, well, Kurt McMaster gets 50% credit for that.
Yeah.
I just had the sinking feeling, Bob, that I left the pager phone at home or at work.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Luckily, I can do something about that.
You go, boy.
All right. Well, if we don't have any super secret stuff we need to discuss, I'm going to. Huh?
I said we do. We totally do.
Oh,
I'm going to stop the broadcast then. No super secret stuff for you guys. Ha 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 ha. Bye.